Hi, everyone. Welcome to This One's Dedicated To. I'm Chris Barton.
And I'm Jennifer Ziegler, and we're here with our guest, author Varsha Bajaj, who is here to talk about the dedication in her middle grade novel, Thirst. Welcome, Varsha.
Hello, Varsha.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is going to be fun.
Well, we're thrilled to have you with us. To start us off, would you please read aloud the dedication that you wrote in Thirst?
For sure. This one is for my father, Shashi Valavalkar, a lifelong Mumbaiker.
All right. Now, you've had a few books before this one. Had you dedicated any of those previous books to your dad?
You know, I don't think so.
Because a lot of folks, cover the parents, first book or two. Were you holding off for a particular reason?
This one just felt like I couldn't possibly dedicate it to anyone but him.
So Thirst is set in Mumbai, which is your father's home city. When did you start working on the novel?
I started working on it in 2019. And in 2019, I was just trying to kind of do research. I do a lot of research even when I write fiction. And so I was doing a lot of research, and I had gone to India in the summer of 2019, and I returned to the neighborhoods in which I had worked in as a college student. Um, and that kind of, just brought back all of these memories. And then in January of 2020, I went back because my dad wasn't doing so well. His health was deteriorating. And I stayed with him for 3 weeks, and I continued to do research, and I continued to talk to people. And one of the people I talked to a lot was my dad, because he had lived in the city all his life. And so I was talking to him about all of those experiences. And then I returned to Houston. So Mumbai became almost like a character in the book,
Yes.
the city itself. And I was born and raised in Mumbai. So it just felt like, how could I possibly dedicate it to anybody but my dad? He was the ultimate Mumbaiker.
When you came back after that visit, what happened?
Oh, well, I'd been seeing the headlines a little bit in the papers about COVID. I came back here, and it seemed like it was not a thing. It was really not a thing back then. And March 13th, lockdown started. And I think I just started to write. I left the yellow pad aside, and I opened my document, and I started to write. And then what happened, though, made it, at the end of March, my dad did have a stroke, and he passed away on July 18th that year. So yesterday was his 4th death anniversary. And all through, I would talk to him a couple times during the day just to see how he was doing. And he wasn't doing well, and it was obvious to see. But we kept talking about the book and the story till he could, and towards the end, it was not possible. But we just kept talking about thirst in me creating this story. And I kept telling him, it's the one that I'm afraid to write, because I don't want to fail the characters.
Mm.
So that's kind of what happened when I came back.
Did you always, so from the get-go, did you know you were going to dedicate it to your father, or was this, did it hit you at some point like that you had to dedicate it to him?
Well, you know, I mean, he passed away and I was still in the midst of writing the book.
Mhm.
And then when they told me the pub date, it was July 19th,
Oh.
a day after his death anniversary. And it just felt like he was continuing to guide me with that story. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, it does, yes.
But that's kind of how it felt to me. And so, you know, you get that email late in the process. Hey, what's the dedication? We don't have a dedication. I possibly wrote it in a minute because it wrote itself. You know? Yeah.
I find it really interesting. So, to viewers watching, today's date, as we're recording, is July 19th, which is the anniversary, the 2-year anniversary of when this wonderful book came out. And that was not planned.
See, this is what I mean. There have been so many of these coincidences, I guess is what people would call it. But I'm one of those people who sees meaning in coincidences. So to me, it feels like it's the second anniversary. And again, I'm talking about thirst. You know, when I was in college, I worked in a neighborhood which is kind of sort of similar to Thirst, the
Right.
neighborhood in Thirst. And it was a community health center. And part of what I did was talk to kids.
Yeah.
And it was this little group, and we would, you know, we would share lunch and we would chat, and they taught me some Bollywood dancing. I'm not good at it, but they did teach me.